Hello there, and welcome to What's Your Story? I have a fabulous guest for you today, Barry Shore, who is the author of this book entitled The Joy of Living, How to Slay Stress and Be Happy. Welcome, Barry.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Now, Judy, how can I make the categorical statement that all the thousands and tens of thousands of people that are watching us now are all good-looking? Because by definition, if they tuned in to listen to your show, they're always looking for and finding the good. That's a good-looking person, looking for and finding the good in life.
I like it. I like it. Well, you know, Barry, I wrote these things down because there's so much about you that it's hard for me to remember everything.
Me too.
And I want you people to know that he is a mental health activist, a philanthropist, a multi-patent holding entrepreneur, a speaker, an author, a podcaster, and a former quadriplegic who is now swimming around the world. So I have questions about all of those things for you.
Well, that's why we're here.
Okay.
We are here to serve. I only want to make one mention. Judy, thank you so much for holding up the book and saying the title. I just want to let everybody know that you may read the title, but really the title is The Joy of Living.
Well,
not just the joy of living, how to slay stress and be happy.
So we have to sing it. The joy
Absolutely.
of living.
And that's why I'm here today with Judy, because she understands that singing is one of the most important aspects of being alive, right?
I think so. I think so. Well, I think the book is incredible, and there's so many things in the book that I want to discuss with you today. There's so much. One of the things you said in the book was about not being a perfectionist, and since I am one, I said, boy, I'm going to ask Barry about that. But before we get there, tell me about all of these multi-patents that you hold.
First of all, thank you again for inviting me to be here today and sharing with your beloved audience. I mean, tens of thousands of people. Bravo, wonderful Judy.
Thank you.
So one of the things we do when we introduce what I've done and what I'm still doing in life is I tell people we work with the three fundamentals of life. And you know this as well as anybody because of what you've been through. Three fundamentals of life are, number one, life has purpose.
Yes.
And when you lead a purpose-driven life, you can go MAD. Now, MAD in this case is a good acronym. It stands for Make a Difference.
Right.
You lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference like you're doing. And number three fundamental of life is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Simple example, WWW, ask anybody what it stands for, and invariably it has to do with the internet, right? But in our world, Judy, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, WWW stands for What a Wonderful World. And what is a word, right? And we have a big thank you to Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, for enabling that song to go viral and touch not just tens of millions or hundreds of millions, billions of people around the planet. So to go to your particular question, thank God I have been an entrepreneur and in business situations since I'm at least 10 years old.
Wow.
And one of the reasons, I'll give you one simple reason. I was raised in a place called Brookline, Massachusetts. I was born in Boston, actually Dorchester. So for anybody watching who comes from that area, I can park my car very easily. I can go right into it. Thank God I've been away long enough that I don't fall in so easily, but I just love listening to thick Bostonian accent. It's because it's hard to understand. But let's leave that aside. So growing up in Boston, before the internet, and before all these things that we take for granted, say, like the cell phones and Uber and things like that, when it snowed, and it did, and you'd have not just a powder, but you get 6 inches, 8 inches, 12, and you listen to the radio and say, which school is not on today?
Yes.
And you get to Brookline, Runkle, yay, no school. Okay, now for me, we didn't play video games, they didn't have them, and it wasn't just going to go back to sleep. I said, wow, what an opportunity. I got an allowance, meager I thought, and what I liked was putting on my long underwear, got to do it, it's cold out, putting on my boots, putting on my dungarees, gloves and earmuffs, because I mean this stuff
Right.
hurts, and a hat and a shovel, and now go door to door to my neighbors and offer to shovel snow for a fee. So I learned the basics of business at a
Early.
very early age on my own. I wanted to get out and do it because I wanted to have more.
Right.
And the best part of it is the fun. Knocking on somebody's door as a neighbor, and now I'll do it for $10 for the driveway and the stairs. And the nice neighbor says, well, I'll give you $5. Now I'm a 10-year-old kid. And I said, no, maybe I'll take 8. And then we make 7. Okay, 8, do it. Okay, so I would do 4 or 5 before I got really tired, because shoveling snow is not
Right.
easy. But I realized something else. This got really good. I had 3 or 4 friends, and they didn't really like to get out of bed and go shoveling. But I told them, hey, I'll do the knocking on the doors, get you the gig, and all you have to do is do it, because they didn't like talking to people.
Yeah.
I love it, just like I like speaking with you
Right.
and our audience right now. I went knocking on. I got the gig, and let's say it was $8. I give them 6. I got 2, and each one would do 4 or 5. So I made an extra $30, $40, $50.
Yeah.
So imagine as a 10-year-old kid, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 1960. $50 was big money. I mean,
Yes.
big money because my allowance was 25 cents a week. So when it snowed, it was great. But here's the real point. The word business is spelled B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S, right? Notice that the U comes before the I in business.
Yes.
It's only when you give value to someone else, when you're thinking about what the other person is going to gain, do you really gain as well. Yeah, you can go and hustle and you make things happen. Yes, it can work. But when you give value, guess what? You attract business. So you asked me about patents and such. So everything I've done in my business life since the age of 10 has been oriented to what more can I do? What can I change, make it faster, better, and cheaper?
Right.
That's the American way. And I'm telling you, very privileged to have these 3 patents. 2 of them had to do with things in the world of electronic delivery of information, and one has to do with a philanthropic process that actually Oprah, I won't even say Winfrey because everybody knows, Oprah wrote about it in one of her magazines a few years ago. So it was so innovative. So I've really been out there always looking for what is it that I can do that would bring you more benefit. By the way, I love your name, Judy, J-U-D-I. The U comes before the I, because you're always giving to others. And by doing so, you attract benefits. So everybody loves Judy, because they know that she's really talking to me, meaning the audience. You're not talking just because you, and because you're famous and beautiful and wonderful.
Oh, I love you already. Just keep on, keep on.
So let me just tell you one other story, because it's illustrative of something else that happened in my life. So again, growing up in the Boston area, the great ballpark called Fenway Park. Notice I said park.
Yeah.
Fenway Park, for people who don't know it.
Yeah.
Go look it up anywhere you are in the world. It's one of the oldest existing
Oh,
baseball
right.
stadiums. It's still in the country. It's amazing.
Right.
It's right in the middle of the city, which is the way it used to be for ballparks, but not much anymore. But Fenway Park is still operational 100 years later. I had one of the greatest jobs that any kid could ever have. The ages of 12, 13, or 14, I sold scorecards outside of Fenway Park.
Wow.
That was a wow, by the way. So you get there about an hour and a half before the game. So in the course of people coming into the games, I sold the scorecards in those days 8 cents. Who even knows what 8 cents is? 8 cents, and I made 2 cents, and people give them a dime, and they just keep going on. So give 4 cents a paper, and I can make $6, $7, $8 in an hour and a half. But the benefits that accrued also were the Red Sox weren't the Red Sox then. The stadium was half filled. So I get to see games for free.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody knew me also, because I'm the kid on the corner, and I was able to speak. Hey, get your scorecards, get your scorecards. But here's what gets really fun. There was a man that was just maybe 20 yards away. old man. I'm saying old. He was my age when when I was 12, 13.
Well, he was old to
He was
you.
73, right?
Yeah.
So we're not old anymore. 123 might be old, but he's sitting on a old milk crate, and in front of him was about a big board, about 4 feet wide, 6 feet long, filled with roasted peanuts, and in bags. And he was an old black man, what I call wizened. Now, wizened is short for wise, because he was. So he would call me over and say, "Hey, kid, come over here." So I did. I said, "Yes, sir," because that's how I was raised, right? He said, "Let me hear what you're doing." I said, "Okay. Scorecards, get your scorecards here. Scorecards, get your scorecards." He said, "Good voice, very nice, but where's the value?" His name was Elijah. And Elijah said, listen to this. Peanuts a dime, 3 for a quarter, 15 in the ballpark. You hear what I'm doing, kid? Peanuts a dime, 3 for a quarter, 15. I'm giving value. That's why people buy peanuts from me before they go to the ballpark and get sold out. They try it now. Okay, how much are the scorecards inside? 15 cents. What are you selling for? 8 cents. So let me hear it. Scorecards, get your scorecards. 8 cents here, 15 in the ballpark. 8 cents here, 15 in the ballpark. Elijah was right. I sold more papers that way. Because people say, "Oh yeah, I'll get that. It's half the price, right?" But now comes my father. And my father loved working with me and teaching me. It wasn't always easy, by the way, but he loved it. And he asked me, he said, "What do people keep score with?" I said, "I don't know, pencil, a pen, whatever they have." "Do they always have one?" I don't know. He said, "Remember, the U comes before the I." He taught me that, by the way. The U comes before the I. So he went out, we bought pencils. We bought, I think, 12 just to start. A dozen pencils, long pencils, cut them in half. So he had little pencils. Remember what you keep score with in miniature golf or the golf course? Cut them in half. So we bought them for 4 cents and we sold each one for a nickel. So I understood, you buy it for 4 cents, you sell it for 10 cents, 2 pencils. I learned about gross margin and profit and turning pennies into more pennies into dollars eventually. So I would sell a pencil for a nickel plus a scorecard that's 13 cents. Give me 15 cents. Sometimes they even give me a quarter. Keep the change, kid, because you're a kid. And wow, but what was I doing? I was giving value.
Right.
And the same thing happened to me, thank God, throughout my business career. How can I give value? So these patents arose out of finding ways to give more value to people. And that's really what I built in, thank God, 2 businesses that I sold to public companies and a couple of things that didn't go so well. But that's what business is all about, right?
Yeah.
You go out there and you do. You risk, you take chances, calculated, and you do the best you can.
Exactly.
And guess what? This is America.
Yes.
Yeah, the best place in the world for business because the U comes before the I.
Right. Right. So tell me about, you were a quadriplegic. How did that happen, and how on earth did you get to where you're in such great shape today?
Thank you. Oh, see what she says? Great shape. Beautiful tan, right? So imagine, if you will, standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, Superman reference, and that night being in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed. Not an automobile accident, not a spinal injury, a rare disease that I never heard of the day before, took over my body and rendered me what we call a quadriplegic, which means from my neck down, nothing in my body moved. In other words, completely paralyzed.
How old were you when that happened?
Double nickels, 55.
Wow.
It just happened. Now I found out much about this. It's also called French polio. It's known as Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS for the cognoscenti. I was 144 days in hospital. I was 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home. I couldn't turn over by myself. I had braces on both my legs, from my hips to my ankles. That was progress. I was 4 years in a wheelchair. I still today can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself, but I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot long walking wand, and I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice, positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. And by the way, it's all because of one word, and that word is smile. Smile? Yeah, smile. Because remember, we talked about the 3 fundamentals of life. Number 1, life is purpose. Number 2, go mad, make a difference. Number 3, unlock the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Smile stands for seeing, miracles in life every day.
Ooh,
Seeing miracles in every life.
I love acronyms.
Now imagine being completely in bed for years, nothing moves. I kept thinking about sitting up and putting my feet over the side of the bed.
So you were visualizing
I
that.
was visualizing, I wanted to feel, thank God I can do that today. Still takes me 8 minutes to get out of bed, to get dressed, and it takes me 6 minutes to tie my shoes. But I can do it.
Yes.
Now you see my upper body, strong, robust, like Johnny Weissmuller. Well, that's maybe they don't know that. But yes, Arnold. Okay, not Arnold, but yes, strong. Because in the course of gaining back some abilities, and by the way, I can't sit up from this chair right now, because from the waist down, I'm still what's called a paraplegic. But in the course of gaining back some of my abilities, I learned how to swim. I could swim before, but just I didn't enjoy it because I could barely do it.
Yeah.
But now I learned how to. So I did a lot of aquatic therapy, and over the course of a couple of years, I was able to swim with special devices. I have flotation devices on my legs so they don't sink and drag me down. I wear paddles because my hands are very arthritic looking; they don't close. And I use a snorkel because it's hard to turn my neck
Wow.
still. But I now swim 2 miles a day.
Every day?
6 days a week.
Wow.
And I've been doing that for over a dozen years, and I have over 8,435 miles as of today, which means I'm more than a third of the way around the world, and my goal is to swim around the world.
Amazing.
How do you like that?
Yeah, that's a goal.
Anybody can do this. If I can do this, anybody can do it. Get out there and move. Just move. You don't want to swim? Walk. You don't want to walk? Skip. But don't just sit, watch television. Get out and move. We call it KIND, by the way, Judy. KIND is an acronym that stands for this is the other one. Connect in nature daily. Connect in nature daily.
Wow.
WOW, by the way, is a great acronym. Words of wonder.
Yes. Yes. And I use that a lot. Wow. I guess I should say things like spectacular or wonderful. It's just wow, kind of says it all for me.
Right. Everybody likes wow. So wow can also be words of wisdom. Because when you hear something that really resonates, you say, wow. For instance, like the word joy. Joy is a great acronym that stands for Journey of You.
Ooh.
That's not a wow, that's an ooh. You like that?
Yeah.
Journey of You. And by the way, just to put everything in perspective here, I'm going to speak to the audience. I urge everybody, go to my website, which is barryshore.com. You'll see it on the screen as well, barryshore.com. There's a free gift for everybody there. Some of my videos, I urge everybody to do it and sign up for the newsletter. It's free, because one of the things that I've done in my life now, coming out of being quadriplegic, is I'm on a mission to enable people to move from what we call a joy deficit into a joy surplus. We can do it. If we work together, one person at a time, we create a joy surplus in the world. You like that?
I do. I do. There are so many things in your book. It just fascinated me. You talk about Norman Cousins, and you talk about becoming a pothead. What is that?
Oh, I am a pot advocate, absolutely, because if they don't know who Norman Cousins is, Cousins, I urge everybody to do a Google search and find out about it, because it's truly amazing. A man who cured himself from what the doctors told him was incurable and you're going to die soon, and he said, no. And if I got into this state because of negative thinking, well, I think I could get myself out of by positive thinking and by laughter.
Yes.
So POT stands for Power of Thinking. Power of thinking. Matter of fact, I would like to urge everybody to understand that this show, as wonderful it is, it's not about Barry Shore, great guy. It's not even about Judy, wonderful woman. This show is about you. You. Yes, everybody watching, it's about you, Y-O-U. And when you understand that, you can now begin to understand that this world, as whatever you think about it, be good looking. Look for and find the good. And I hope we have a few more minutes. I'd like to give people over some practical tips and tools
Yes,
of
do
how to
that.
get through stuff.
Do that.
Okay, let's take number one. Number one is breathe. Breathe, the Barry Shore saying, of course I'm breathing, I'm watching the show. Yes, but that's called automatic breathing, that's shallow breathing. What we really want to urge people to learn how to do is what we call deep breathing, diaphragmatic breathing. There's only one problem with that. Most people don't know where the diaphragm is, and they can't spell it. So I call it tummy breathing.
Okay.
So the ability to do tummy breathing is to breathe in through your nose, deep into your tummy, and then let it out slowly. It takes about 8 seconds to do that. And when you do that 4 times in a row, consciously, just sitting in a chair. You don't have to be cross-legged and just sit in a chair and do it 4 times. And you do that twice a day, once before noon and once afternoon. I do it in the morning, I do it before I go to sleep. By the time 11 days goes by, you're going to be consciously calm and aware. And you're going to say, I got to listen to Judy more. She has on the greatest people.
I do have on
You
the greatest
do,
guests.
yeah.
Yes.
So breathe. The second thing is learn to use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day. And these 2 words are, drum roll, fanfare, da-dun, da-da! Thank you. Thank you. Thank stands for to harmonize and network kindness. To harmonize and network kindness, which is your hallmark. Now, the Dalai Lama, I've read in his writings, he writes, be kind whenever possible. Then he has a smile on his face. That it's always possible, right? So the ability to use these 2 words consciously and conscientiously 3 times a day. Make a
And
point
the
to
2
do it.
words are?
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you an example. You go into the coffee shop, you order a fancy latte, sit down, somebody brings it, you say thank you. Go in the coffee shop, order your fancy latte, a couple of minutes, nobody brings it to you. You go to the counter and say, oh, I'm sorry, we're busy, you forgot. You sit down, a minute goes by, and somebody brings, you still say thank you, right? You're walking out of the coffee shop and it's raining out, somebody holds the door open for you. You say, thank you. You're walking out of the coffee shop and it's raining and somebody slams the door on you. You still say, thank you. You're in traffic, late for an appointment, somebody cuts you off. You say, thank you. You get up in the middle of the night, you stub your toe and it hurts. You say, thank you. To harmonize and network kindness. When you begin to think this way and speak this way and act this way, you create a benefit for yourself, your family, your friends, and the whole world. Now the third one, put on your seatbelts, everybody. The third one is learn to love dog poop.
What?
Did Barry Shore say dog poop? Yes, dog poop. Now everybody knows what dog poop is because a lot of dogs around, right? And you either have 1 or 2 and you're picking it up or you walk by and it's there. Learn to love dog poop. Why? Because dog poop is an amazingly powerful acronym that stands for doing of good, power of one person.
Ah.
Power, when you recognize the power that you have, when you have good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, you make a difference in the world. Your energy cannot be stopped. There's no wall, there's no mountain, there's nothing that can stop the proliferation of positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant energy. So it's on us, each one of us, one person reaching out to another, reaching out to another, reaching out to another. With your audience alone, we can power the entire United States of America, reaching out to people and create a joy surplus. So those are 3 practical tips and tools.
Well, they're wonderful, wonderful.
Things, especially learning to
practical
love
tips.
dog poop. Hello.
Yeah, well, that one was kind of a shock for me. Yeah. You talk in your book a little bit about meditation and how important this is for us.
Yes. Would you like to hear my take on meditation?
Yes, I would.
Okay, so in my humble opinion, the best medication is meditation. Same word, just change one letter. The best medication is meditation, because meditation is really the release of the soul getting in touch with divine realities. And when you do that in a very calm, loving way by what we talked about before about breathing.
Right.
A conscious, loving breath, not taking a breath, conscious, loving breath, allowing that breath to come in. And again, we're talking about doing this on my website, barryshore.com, BARRYSHORE.com. I have free information. I teach people how to do meditation 2 minutes a day. 2 minutes a day. Now, I urge people to do it twice a day. But if you learn to do this technique 2 minutes a day, this has been handed down to me. My teachers have told me this goes back over 3,300 years.
Amazing.
And again, it's a couple of minutes. You don't have to sit cross-legged and chanting. And by the way, all those things are wonderful. You want to do it, that's great. But for 2 minutes investment, a couple of times a day, you move yourself from a place of stress, anxiety, worry, fear. I mean, I work with, thank God, thousands and thousands of people who are very stressed, Judy. Anxious, especially now, with all the stuff that just happened with the pandemic and all of this stuff. Wars raging, hello. It's very easy to get into a stressful situation, correct? But there's a way to move from it in your own life. And they all, by the way, stress works with the three factors that are always going to be with us. Money, the M word, family, relationships with other people, and health. Hello, talk about health. You know about challenges. I know about health challenges. These are always happening. It's always stress around money, relationships, and health. So when you learn to meditate a couple of minutes a day, twice a day, it's not that the issues go away. You become capable of dealing with them in a different way. You understand that stress can be a great acronym. It can stand for stomach turning reality, difficult situation, enabling self-success. Because I'll share with everybody. In my life, the 6 most important words I've ever been able to integrate and utilize and leverage in my life are choice, not chance, determines your destiny.
Exactly.
Choice, not chance, determines how you respond in any given situation, right? You can choose how you want to respond. And if you choose the meditative way, the calm, aware way, again, just for using a couple of minutes, you'll find that the situation can be lessened. You can find another way to work with it. Instead of course, lashing out, getting angry and upset, and reacting rather than responding. Respond means that you're really in control of your thoughts and your mind and your heart. And if you don't let that get out of control, guess what happens? Joy!
So tell us about your cards.
Oh, this is so wonderful. So the first card we're going to put up here is the Keep Smiling card. Now, this one card we have in 27 languages. More than 3 million have been distributed worldwide and shared worldwide. And if you go on the site, again, barryshore.com, you'll see there are many celebrities, very famous people that you know that are holding up the Keep Smiling card and endorse it. Because this card not only shares with other people, one person to another, but I can tell you more than 38 stories that we know of because people have sent the information that have saved people from suicide.
Wow.
A simple Keep Smiling card. Do we have time for a short story?
Yeah, we have time for one short story.
Her name is Heather, and she lived actually in New England, and she was 22 at the time. And she had decided to leave. She was going to check out. She had gone around to a number of buildings in her town, and she found a building that was, told me, 13 stories high, and the rooftop door was open. Okay, it happened. She found it. It was Monday morning. It was late in December, raining, cold, overcast, typical New England winter day. And she was leaving at about 9 o'clock. She was on her way to the building. It was about 8:55, she said, or so. Now she's walking along to the building. She has a hoodie. She has her head down and just walking, getting ready, getting her mind ready. And she stepped on something, a blue card, and she could read half of it. And she said she doesn't even know why she stopped. But she stepped and she just bent down to pick it up. And the card reads, as you see on the screen, "Keep smiling." She said, "Okay, God, that's a very bad joke." You know. And at that moment, somebody passed by on her right-hand side and said, "Good morning, stay dry." Then somebody passed by on the left-hand side and said, "Stay well, so everything's fine." And then another person went by and said, "Good morning." She didn't know what to do. She said she was rooted to the spot. She said it felt like about 20 minutes. It was probably closer to 20 seconds. She didn't know what to do. She was going to leave. And now people are wishing her well and things happening. She has the Keep Smiling card. She crushed the card, put it in her hoodie, turned around and went home. That was 8 years ago. She says she still struggles, but she's here. From a Keep Smiling card,
Yes.
one card. And we have people now that get the cards. You can go on the website, you can order them. We don't charge for the cards, you have to pay shipping, that's all. And we also have the ability for people to email cards. We have thousands of people who send these cards and many others, like, did I tell you today how much I appreciate you? A joy card, learn to love dog poop. I mean, get uncomfortable, lots of different cards. People are emailing them all over the world. It's free. And when you think about what you can do to help another person, sometimes it's even better than food.
Yes.
Even better than food, because the soul sometimes is aching and then people have holes and knots in their stomach, and we need to touch other people with goodness. Isn't that right, Judy?
Yes. Yes. Well, I have to tell you, you're like a whirlwind of fresh air.
Woo!
You
Back
are.
at you, kid.
And we are out of time. I'm so sorry, because it's such a pleasure to have you here and to talk with you and have you as a guest. Once again, tell my viewing audience how they can get in touch with you, how they can get the cards, and we're going to have you back again.
Thank you.
soon.
First of all, it's nice to be had. And I'd like to do two things. A hug with you, virtual hug, we'll do it, and to leave everybody with a blessing.
And a hug back.
Yeah, so I'll show you what a hug is. So again, I urge everybody, free gift, and there's a big discount on the book. Go to barryshore.com, BARRYSHORE.com. You'll love it. There's a lot of great stuff there, all free, and just enjoy yourself. And HUG stands for Heartfelt Unlimited Giving.
Thank you.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
And thank you for being here with us
and
today.
we're going to give everybody a blessing. Ready?
Okay.
Go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference.
We'll see you soon.